Welcome to the chapter Ratio and Proportion. Here we are going to see in depth about what is meant by ratio and what is proportion. First we'll see what is ratio. Comparison of two or more quantities is what we call it as ratio. The quantities can be either milk, water or a type of solution, whatever it can be. Ratio does not have any units. It does not have any units. Why? Because ratio should be of the same kind. So when the ratio should be of the same kind means, if suppose consider you are having A and B is a two type of quantities. If A is having kilometer per hour and B is having kilometer per hour. Since ratio is nothing but comparison of two quantities. So you are equalizing two quantities. When you equalize two quantities, what will happen? The units will also get cancelled. So there is no unit for ratios. So that is what they have mentioned in the second point. Ratio does not have any units. A ratio is expressed as A is to B. They will express it in the way A is to B. That is, if the two numbers are in the ratio 2 is to 3 means, for every 2 units of the first number, second has the 3 units. That is the actual meaning behind 2 is to 3. Once again I'll repeat. Every 2 units of the first number, second has the 3 units. If we multiply or divide a ratio, then the comparison does not change. For example, if we are going to multiply 5 to the above ratio 2 is to 3, so what will happen? This becomes 10 and this becomes 15. So the comparison is still the same. If we cancelize 10 and 15, since 5 is the common factor, if we cancelize, we will again get the ratio 2 is to 3. So if we multiplied or divide a number, then the comparison does never ever change. The ratio has to be multiplied with a constant x to get the actual number, which means if A and B are in the 2 ratio 2 is to 3, if you want the A's actual number, then you need to multiply a constant to the ratio of A, which means it becomes 2x. Likewise, for B it becomes 3x. I'll explain you a constant. If you are containing if you are containing two solutions 1 and solution 2. This is A solution and this is B solution. Both are in the ratio 2 is to 3. Now I am going to add these two solutions in a beaker, says to yield a solution of 3. Here what I am going to do is I am going to mix A and B together. By mixing A and B together, this becomes C or something else. Okay. Now I want A part alone used in solution 3, which means I want A part alone used in solution 3 means, so the total part is 5 here since 2, 3, right? So the total part will be 5. So out of 5 parts I am using 2 parts. Out of 5 parts I am using 2 parts, that is the A part alone. Likewise, B part alone used in solution 3. B part alone used in solution 3, which means out 3. From the 5 parts, I'm using 3 parts as B part alone. So this is the way to calculate A part alone and B part alone. Now my question is, how much quantity of A had been used? How much quantity of A being used, which means the total quantity or the actual quantity. Okay, so actual quantity means you need to multiply a constant x. So how much quantity of B being used? This is also 3x. So from the actual quantity of 2x, they have used 2 by 5 parts of A in solution 3. Likewise, from the total quantity of 3x, they have used 3 by 5 parts of B in solution 3. This is the actual thing you need to remember while calculating ratios. So there exists two important cases. If they have been asking for the actual quantity or the actual thing or the actual number, then you need to multiply x. If they are asking how much part had been used or how much amount had been used, likewise we need to find out of the total parts how much parts you have been used. The next thing is proportion. Proportion is nothing but if two ratios are equal, then we call it as a proportion. They are expressed as A is to B. This is the proportion. Proportion is nothing but if suppose A is to B equal to C is to D. This is what. So A is to B, we will write it as A by B, right? So equal to C by D. So whatever they are asking, you just cross multiply and find the value. They are asking for A means you can calculate by this way, C by D into B. If they are asking for B, then you can do by A into D by C. Likewise, you can find for C and D also. This is the proportion. Proportion is nothing but comparison of two or equal of two ratios.